Jaguars postgame is brought to you by Farah and Farah, the University of Florida, Whataburger, and by Everbank. Jaguars postgame, presented by G.E.H.A, starts right now.
Welcome in. It is Jaguars postgame. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. We're out to Fred Taylor. The Bengals over the Jaguars 31-27. A 92-yard, 15-play touchdown drive for the Bengals. And with 18 seconds to go, Jake Browning with a quarterback keeper 1-yard touchdown run gives Cincinnati their only lead of the game. And the Bengals pull one out after the Jaguars had a 3-point advantage. They got an interception off Browning from Devin Lloyd, returned 22 yards to the 12-yard line. And instead of kicking a field goal, they go for it on 4th and 5. Brian Thomas Jr. dropped the ball about a yard short of the line to gain anyway and would have had to make a move upfield to get the first down, dropped it on 4th down, and gave Cincinnati the football with only needing a field goal to tie it. They end up scoring the touchdown, killing off most of the clock, and the Bengals get a win over the Jaguars. Bengals now 2-0, Jaguars 1-1, and this is about as disappointing as it can come.
Oh, this is a gut-wrenching loss. I mean, this is a game you felt like the Jags should have won this by a couple of touchdowns, the way it played out, JP, but ill-timed mistakes. I mean, that first end zone interception by Trevor Lawrence, you're ready to put your foot on their throat early in that football game, and you come up with nothing when you're in point-blank field goal range at the absolute worst. Can't have that. Brian Thomas had the worst day of his professional career today. I mean, he was dropping the ball or pulling up short of attacking the ball on multiple occasions today. I mean, you know, we can question the way the game played out in the end. I understand the arguments on both sides going for it on 4th down as opposed to kicking the field goal. You still get beat by a touchdown. Then Cincinnati, with 3.5 minutes to go, decides to go for it on 4th down that deep. I guess they're figuring, look, if we stop them, we're still only down by 6. And the Jags had a 4th down that the Bengals were able to convert. And then another one, it looked like they were going to win the football game, and Travis Hunter gets called for pass interference. I haven't gotten a good enough look at the replay. We've seen it several times to know if that was the right call or not, but it never should have come down to that. The Jags should have beat this team going away today with the exception of the self-induced errors. We had 6, what was the penalty?
Illegal shifts.
Illegal shifts, 6 illegal shifts. None of them accepted. What does that tell you? That means on every one of those plays where they had an illegal shift, there was a positive outcome for the Bengals. So you had a penalty, and the Bengals said, no, we're good. We don't need that. 6 different times. I mean, fitting that you had one on the final play of the game.
No doubt about that. Fred Taylor with us now after a gut-wrenching loss, 31-27. Fred, good afternoon to you. What's your first takeaway from the loss today?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I think Mike was spot on. Everything Mike just said is spot on. But I do want to add that I think this is a bigger win for Cincy and all that happened to them as much as it is a big loss for the Jaguars. The Jaguars are rebound. They're a better team than last year. You can clearly see that. The self-inflicted wounds, as Mike called out, those are tough. You know, those are coachable moments. You can't have the illegal shifts. You can't have Etienne, after a big interception, lose 4 yards on the very first play. Now you're behind the clock. 2 plays that stood out because people are going to question the aggressive decision from Coach Cohen to go for it right there on 4th.
Oh, yeah.
If De'Ami Brown catches the ball, the score will be tied. He has to catch that touchdown and not settle for the field goal right there. And even after the 4th down attempt to go for it right there, as you mentioned, Mike, BTJ had the worst game of his professional career. He has to catch that, and the sticks are moving. So, in my opinion, Coach, he's playing not to lose. They started drafting this year under the new regime, very aggressive. They say we're going to come in to win. We're going to make calls and make decisions to win. I believe that was a call to win the ball game. If they execute it, if he catches the ball, you give yourself an opportunity. And then now the defense, who's been playing great throughout the course of the game, you have a backup quarterback. You allow him to take it 90-plus yards to set up and go ahead touchdown to win the game. So for the Cincinnati Bengals, great win in spite of everything that they had going through. Jaguars, if you want to be a great team this year, you're going to have to find a way to win those sort of games.
Fred Taylor with us. Last week it was, 7 targets, 1 catch for Brian Thomas Jr., and we asked throughout the week, is it a blip or is this the start of something? What's going on? Okay, it's a blip. We'll see. And even asking him in the locker room, he's like, we're just going to go out and work and keep going. Nope. Okay. Well, clearly today, it just didn't look right, Fred. And with the 12 targets, 4 catches, that's the stat line, but just looking at it on television screen. Those balls over the middle a couple of times, that the one he tipped up, just kind of let up a little bit a couple times over the middle today, and that's curious, I would say.
Yeah, I would say you have to catch more than 30% of your targets. I don't care. I'm not a mathematician, but I do know the math on that. That's just an awful upside-down stat, and I don't even credit any of that to the Bengals defense. They weren't playing tight coverage. There was just some I don't know, but Brian has to play better. Look on the flip side, Jamar Chase, 16 targets, 14 receptions, 165 yards. That's what you want from your number one. So we're still seeing BTJ get into his groove. He found his groove midway point a year ago. We're going to need him to find it way, way, way before that. So they'll go back again. Coachable moments. How can we get better? One, address the penalties. We noticed those last week. Travis Hunter not being set, few other guys not being set. They caught up with them today. Travis Etienne, you got to get downhill, son. You have to get downhill. Hopefully they look at that and hammer away at it. And the last thing, BTJ, when it's clutch, you got to catch the ball, baby. You have to catch the ball because we're dependent on you as a true number one. You got to make the play.
Yeah, not going to argue with that. I don't know if he gets the first down. We've been debating that one on the fourth down play, Fred. Even if he catches, he still's got to turn up field and lunge for that first down. But just there were opportunities for plays to be made throughout. And you highlighted, we know how good Jamar Chase is, right? But 14 out of 16. I mean, I get it. You don't want him to beat you over the top on that quick strike touchdown, but I felt like the Jags were giving him everything underneath. Like, let's just keep him in front of us. And if you're going to give him 14 catches, guy goes for 165 yards. Did the Jags play up on him enough throughout the course of the game, in your opinion?
I don't believe so. I don't believe strategically they were up in their press man coverage, usually when it was blitz. And now you give Cincy an opportunity to kind of pick their poison. You have slants, you have fade balls, you have a combination of different options that receivers can run versus your zone coverage, pressing them in zone, make it look like man, bail in zone, and then turn around and allow your defensive front to get home, which they did most of the game. And they were very consistent and solid throughout the course of the game, kind of faded away on the back end. I'm talking about the down 4 rush. But, yeah, I think you find ways as the season goes to disguise and show and press and be off and change in your different variety of coverages. So it's a ton of coachable moments. Just a gut-wrenching loss, as you mentioned, Mike. But a lot of effort, a lot of good plays, a lot of good things. A better team than a year ago. Again, I'm going to double down on that. They just got to find a way to close out these games, unlike they did a year ago.
It's frustrating to see Jake Browning doing it to you,
Again.
Though.
Again. 3 times. Well, 2 times, but, yeah, 3 agains, 2 losses to Jake.
Yeah, and at least they did pick him off several times today,
They
right?
did.
I mean, so they were getting their hands on the ball. Jags created opportunities, but this guy, I mean, when he comes in and he sees a Jaguar uniform, he feels pretty comfortable about it. And once they converted that 4th down, Fred, I think all the pressure flipped to the Jags on that final drive once they converted the 4th and 5, because if they don't, at worst, Jacksonville's going to be able to run that clock down to almost nothing, leave them no timeouts, kick a field goal, and make them have to get that touchdown with a lot less time. But they couldn't. Once they did that, I felt like Cincinnati kind of took a deep breath and said, okay, we're fine now.
Yeah, just, I want to add to that too, Mike, because since he executed 4th and 3, then the 4th and 5 on the PI, good plays by them. You got to give them credit always. But you also have to, I'm going to be petty because I don't know if you really make that call on Travis there on the PI. It's a questionable call, in my opinion, very questionable call. Whereas there are a few examples throughout the course of the game where you blow the whistle early on in the game and you consider the passes that were thrown by Cincy's quarterback. You could Burrow. You consider those, incompletes versus the one that Trevor did. Now you have to challenge it and see if it's a fumble. So I don't know. The refs kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit throughout the course of the game, but I am biased. Still, this is a tough call on Travis late in the game. Very questionable.
All right, we've got plenty ahead. We're standing by to go back to Cincinnati. We'll hear from Jags head coach Liam Cohen coming up. After a tough loss today in Cincinnati, the Bengals over the Jaguars 31-27, the game-winning touchdown with 18 seconds to play for Cincinnati, their only lead of the day. Comes with 18 seconds to go, and that is the final result. The Jaguars Radio Network is presented by the University of Florida, #1 university in the U.S. News and World Report's #1 state for education. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Federal employees keep our country going, and G.E.H.A. is proud to keep them going with health plans exclusively for them. G.E.H.A. was started by postal employees in 1937, and today they offer all federal employees a network of 1.7 million providers and a health plan for every stage of life. G.E.H.A. is trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country. G.E.H.A. Find your federal health plan at G.E.H.A.com.
Everyone circle up. I know it looks rough out there. Sure, we're down 24-6, but we came here to play differently. We need a game changer. Something like Ring Central, the business phone system that's more than a phone. I want you to communicate like you can talk to anyone, anywhere, all from the same app. Now get out there and play like you're using Ring Central.
Ring Central. Simpler communications.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. You probably already know that Echo East Coast Transportation is the official transportation provider for the Jaguars. I've been a client for more than 30 years because they're from here, and like you, they've been Jaguar fans from the beginning. So for any prearranged transportation needs, call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions box for your 15% Jaguars discount. And if you want to talk Jaguars, they can do that too.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Jaguars postgame continues. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the Hyundai Studios. Fred Taylor with us on the line from South Florida as well. After a Jaguars loss to the Bengals, final score 31-27. Jaguars either led or had a tie in this game throughout until the very end, 18 seconds to go. Jake Browning with a quarterback keeper, 1-yard sneak, or jump over the pile, actually, for a touchdown, the game winner for Cincinnati. And the Jaguars with a late 4th and 5 decision to try to go for it deep in Cincy territory, up 3. It failed. And then Cincy going for it on 4th and 5, coming out deep in their own end. They got it and sparked a long 15-play, 92-yard drive to win the football game. And Cincinnati now 2-0. Joe Burrow left the game with a toe injury. Browning came on in relief and managed things, though he did throw 3 interceptions. He threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for another for the Bengals in a winning result today for Cincinnati. The Jaguars had so many opportunities in this game. They had their hands on the football a bunch defensively. They were operating pretty well on the offensive side of the football. Trevor Lawrence throwing a couple interceptions today, though, Fred, including that one early in the end zone. That's a killer because that would have been a 2-touchdown lead early in the game, and he had a man open in the back left corner, Travis Hunter, and just underthrew him, and that could have changed the whole complexion of the early part of this football game.
Yeah, that was the schematics bust. Throughout the course after halftime, Coach Cohen, he even mentioned it to the halftime reporter that, we have to get somebody out there to chip. So I think by design, if they had someone to chip and slow down Trey Hendrickson, who had a monster game in terms of applying pressure, then I believe Trevor had an opportunity to step into that throw and put it on Travis Hunter in the back corner pylon for a touchdown. Even to close out the game, Trey Hendrickson walk a little. My money's going on Trey, much like it should have went on Trey earlier in the offseason.
I thought they played their asses off, competed, played physical, just didn't make enough plays at the end. They call a pass interference on 4th down. Like to see them maybe go earn it, but it is what it is. So, we don't make the play at the end on offense to close somebody out. I think we had an opportunity in the end zone to maybe catch a touchdown, and then we, had the 4th down. Don't make those plays, and ultimately, gave them an opportunity to stay in the game. So, players and coaches alike, we got to go look ourselves in the mirror and go figure it out.
Why the decision to go for it?
It's 100% a go. It's 100% a go. In all analytics and all data, it's 100% a go.
What do you make of the illegal shifts? I think there were 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, first, like you guys kind of alluded to it during the week, first time on the road, silent cadence. We had some motions and shifts in the offense in order to take advantage of, 91 and try to help with 91 in some ways. Maybe looking at it, we got to go evaluate, did we have too much in the game plan for these guys to go execute? So that's something that we have to be better at as coaches to go figure out, did we put too much on them unnecessarily, especially in the first game on the road, knowing that they were going to have some people here at this game. So we got to go look at that.
You were running down towards the official on that 4th down?
Yeah.
Were you going to call it?
We were just seeing, if it was a good look for it, and it was, because if we catch the ball, it's 1st down. So we were just making sure, if it was if it's a terrible look, I'm going to bang it. And it was a good look, and we got to execute.
Ryan had that drop, and the ball bounced off his hands. It looked like there were a couple of times he was maybe shying away from some contact. Did you see that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I got to go watch it, and just go figure out what that was all about and what it looked like. I got to go take a look at that.
On Devin Lloyd's interception, did you think he was still?
I didn't get a good look at it. All the guys up top said that he did not appear to be down. It didn't matter because they ruled him down, so I couldn't do anything about it on the change of the possession. So it just, I don't know. I didn't get a good look at it, and then there was no replay, so I didn't see it. That was just what the guys were kind of saying up top.
The run game seemed to really get going. Just what did you make of that side of the offense?
Yeah, I thought it was a little slower to get going at times, but man, I don't know. We rushed for 140 something, whatever it was, but that efficient. I think we ran it well, and I thought both of those backs, really all 3 of those guys, ran hard and made some plays when they did get hit at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. I was pleased with those guys, and I really thought the front played well. I really do. 91 got us at the end, and we have a chip called on the last play of the game just now. We don't chip them, so kind of need to work on figuring out what that was. But there wasn't many 3rd downs or red zone plays that we didn't have a chip. The frustrating one was the one that we didn't have one on. Travis open in the back of the end zone, turn it over. Those are the game wreckers. Yeah, but it's hard to chip and get 3 out in a 3rd and 9 on the 9 or whatever it was. You need eligibles out. So that was a tough one.
What did you make of 12 playing a ton of snaps on defense on the outside?
Man, aside from that play of getting called there, I don't know. I didn't see him do anything necessarily, bad. I saw on the sideline, made a nice play on a breakup, and I thought he had good energy out there. Jarian got nicked up a little bit, so it forced, a little bit more naturally, even though we wanted to get him a little bit more work as it was. So, he just keeps competing. So I didn't get a great chance to watch him individually. I just know that I don't think he hurt us.
When the Bengals got close to the goal line or down there on the goal line late, was there any consideration?
Yeah,
Letting them go in?
we did. We talked about freeway. We talked about it, and then it was like once they got the penalty that knocked them back, we were about to do that on that play, the next play, and then they called the offsides or illegal formation, whatever it was, which knocked them back. So now you're sitting there like, well, shoot, from the 5 or 6 yard line, we got a chance to hold them and hold them to 3 points. So that was about to occur, and then they got the penalty.
Evaluate the way Trevor played today.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the turnovers are hard. Whether that's his fault, I can't say. I got to watch it. One thing I will say is I thought he competed his tail off. I thought he was, getting us again in and out of the right things and made a lot of good throws, man. I mean, he made some really good throws for us. I got to go look at one of the, some of the ones he missed and see what that looked like. But we can win with him playing like that and limiting obviously the turnovers, whether it's whose fault. Is it my fault? Was it a play caller? Was it a bad design? Was it an errant throw? Was it a missed block? Right? Who knows what that looks like? But I was very proud of the competitor that he was today.
At one point on the broadcast, they kind of caught you lip reading that you were telling him to hit his receivers on the numbers. How do you feel as the game progressed?
That was just one throw. I was pissed. It is what it is. It's not, that's emotion. It's not personal ever. That's just kind of me getting worked up. So he threw a dime in the back of the end zone. We don't make a play. I was very pleased with his competitive nature, the way he stayed calm on the sidelines. He doesn't get, he's pretty even keel, which is good for me. I need that.
When Burrow went out, and Browning comes in, how does that change the defensive scheme, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably, the last time I think we gave him a one-on-one was on the touchdown. And that was something that we, looked at that play. It was like, dude, make him beat us in zone. Make him beat us. Don't give him, we don't need to go after him right now. Let's make him go play quarterback and go beat us. And I think we did that. Shoot, our defense gave us the ball back in their territory to go win the game, and we don't get points. That's on us as an offense, not on the defense. I thought Jamar got his. We knew that was going to kind of occur. But I thought our defense played their tails off. I thought Campy called a good game. I thought our staff did a great job getting them prepared. They're going to get some of those. They got really damn good players on offense. That one is the one that kind of sticks out where you're like, damn, maybe we shouldn't have given them a one-on-one. But after that, we didn't and played really well.
Coach, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yep.
Today. But unfortunately, the Jaguars on the losing end of this one today at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, 31-27 the final score. The Jaguars either led or had a tie in the game until 18 seconds to play when Jake Browning ran in for a 1-yard score. The backup quarterback, Joe Burrow, had left the game earlier in the action. Browning led him down the field, a 15-play, 92-yard scoring drive for the game-winning touchdown with 18 seconds to play. Let's head back to Cincinnati now. The head coach interview is presented by G.E.H.A, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees. Let's head to the locker room. Bucky Brooks standing by with head coach Liam Cohen. Bucky?
Coach, thoughts overall on a tough game?
Yeah, it's frustrating to lose when you compete your tail off like that. And the guys kind of, I don't want to say dominated the game, but it felt like we were in control for a lot of part of that game. Had balance on offense, something we did not have as much last week. So you saw improvements in the pass game specifically. I thought that defensively for their players that they had and Burrow going out, after we gave them the one-on-one, go ball down the sidelines, they didn't get anything after that. And we played zone. Devin gets the interception. We're closing them out right there. Go close out the game. And we'll go for it on 4th down, which it was 100% go zone there. Because you take 3, now you're up 6.
But you get it.
That's right. You get it, and you win the game. And that's what we're trying to do here is ultimately be aggressive in some of those moments without being reckless. And, you put them backed up inside the 10-yard line, whatever it is, and go down and score a touchdown. So I don't know about the PI call either. I have no idea.
Yeah, one of the things that I do know, every coach talks about don't beat ourselves.
Yeah.
We talk about turnovers, penalties, big plays allowed.
Totally.
And for whatever reason, today we had a lot of DBOs.
Yeah.
How do you talk to the team about that? How do you work on that? I know it's part of your process.
Yeah, I think looking at it from an offensive standpoint, you're on the road. Knew it was going to be a good environment. And you're on the road. How can we help them from emotion shift? Did we have too much in the plan from that standpoint? That knowing that you're going on the road as a first time as a team, how can we help them perform? Now, there's some of that was we felt necessary in order to take advantage of them. Yeah. And obviously there was some good stuff that we did offensively. So you don't want to say it was, oh, man, we just completely laid an egg and we did too much. So it's a balance. Maybe we got to look at that and see how much maybe that had impact on the game. But, the penalties are frustrating for sure.
You've always been really straight with the team, but you've also been encouraging and uplifting. How do you take the lessons from today's tough loss, apply them so we're a better version of ourselves next week?
Yeah, the one thing I just said to those guys was I'll go to compete with these guys any day of the week. These guys compete their tails off. It's not for a lack of that, I'll tell you that. So everybody's got to go look in the mirror, players, coaches, staff, everybody involved, and go kind of figure out how we can go take the necessary steps individually first to go get us over the hump and go win games like this on the road against a quality opponent. So, I felt like those guys, it was, frustrating for sure. But, a couple of guys spoke and it sounded like they, understand what we're trying to get accomplished and we shouldn't have a bunch of hanging heads.
Last thing, I know we're not into more victories. What's one good thing that you can take from this game, feeling good about the progress of the team?
Yeah, I think you're looking at offensively the balance that we did end up playing with. Rush for 140 plus, throw for almost 300 yards, whatever. I don't know how much it was, but that balance, keeping defense off balance, and then I think on defense, I don't know what they rushed for, but. I don't know if it was very. I don't think it was very much.
It was like 50.
Yeah. So like 50 yards or something like that, right?
Yeah,
so, ultimately we did make them one-dimensional, which was the goal. And in a critical moment on a fourth down, they go and throw one-on-one and they call a PI. Yeah. I'd love to say let's make them earn it. Mm-hmm. But for us to go get over this hump, we have to make plays down the stretch and learn how to win. I think we learned how to play better complementary in terms of being balanced on both sides, but we got to go learn how to win.
We're shooting this. Go get a win next week.
I appreciate it, Buck. Thank you.
All right, that's Bucky Brooks with head coach Liam Cohen in Cincinnati. Learn how to win. We heard that a lot last year, but, hey, it's early, new era, new scheme, new coaching staff, and it did feel overall, to his point as well, Mike, that there is some balance here. They did some good things offensively. The defense made plays and did certain things. But in those key moments late in the fourth quarter when it mattered, they weren't able to come through.
Well, definitely, the defense let them go down the field. And, again, with the benefit of the pass interference, okay, we can debate that, and it will be debated here in Jacksonville. I'm sure Cincinnati thinks it was a perfect call. But, it's this critical mistakes at times, and you have a chance to put a game away early or at least build a big lead early. This felt like the Jags – had the Bengals on the ropes big time. And, it was almost in a weird way, when Burrow got up, I wish he was hurt a little less, like we talked about it. I wish he had stayed in the game and not been able to move around and navigate the pocket, and we would have known where he was the whole time. But in the end, man, you should beat a team that has to go to their backup quarterback for an entire half of football when you're leading when he comes in.
The Jaguars broadcast booth is presented by Heritage of North Florida. Jacksonville's premier roofing and remodeling company will return. Plenty more ahead. The defensive play of the game coming up. And the Jaguars fall in Week 2, 31-27. Bengals a winner over the Jags. And this is Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
At G.E.H.A, they stand behind their members because they were founded by members. They're not focused on Wall Street, they're focused on Main Street. So they built dental plans with 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, with access to a nationwide network of nearly 600,000 provider locations. G.E.H.A is proud to offer dental plans exclusively for federal employees, federal retirees, and military retirees. Visit GEHA.com to learn more. NFL fans, when it's time to get Jaguars tickets, you can tackle game day with total certainty with Ticketmaster. With 100% verified tickets available all season long, you can count on getting in with ease and spend time focusing on the good stuff. Even if you're headed to the game last minute, you can still score seats. Want to meet up inside the stadium with your crew? Transferring your tickets is an easy handoff. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Hey fans, it's Tyson Campbell, cornerback for your Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, make your game day even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium. And you can enjoy even more with the pizza pick-off promo after the game. When the Jaguars get 2 interceptions in one game, you'll score 50% off one pizza any size you want for 48 hours after the game. Just tell them you want the Jags Pick promo when you order. Up your game and your pizza with Al's at the stadium or any of their locations.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? Right now during the Renewal by Anderson's Big BOGO event, buy one, get one 40% off, plus zero money down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for 18 months. At Renewal by Anderson, our Acclaim Impact Replacement windows are built for Florida homes and designed to help you save money on your energy bills by maintaining indoor temperatures year-round. Offer expires September 30th. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free design consultation. License number CGC 1527613.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars postgame presented by G.E.H.A. continues. J.P. Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. We're at the Hyundai Studios in Jacksonville after a Jaguars loss 31-27. The Bengals get the win with a late touchdown, 18 seconds to go. The game-winning score from the backup quarterback Jake Browning on a quarterback keeper straight ahead. Let's head back to the Everbank Vault in Cincinnati. Bucky Brooks standing by with us for a few extra minutes. Everbank, advantage you. Make the most out of your money at everbank.com/Jaguars. And Bucky, I mean, just hearing you talk with Liam Cohen there are some positives. They did play. They were in this game. Obviously, they had the lead or the tie throughout. They left a lot of plays out there when it mattered down the stretch, unfortunately, today. What's up, Buck?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
And I think we've lost Bucky. We'll try to get connected with him coming up. Key plays down the stretch. We saw drops today. We saw some things just go haywire in bad moments, Mike.
Penalties, again, even the ones that were turned down, right? Way too many out there. And, again, it just felt like if you took the positive plays on each side, I think the Jags stacked up very well. I think they honestly, for a lot of this game, looked like the superior talent, right, on their side of the field collectively, but it was the execution. It was the mental stuff. It wasn't anything physical. Yeah, Jamar Chase had a big game. Jamar Chase, arguably the best receiver in the league. Not going to hold him down in consecutive weeks very often, but despite that, they did a good job on the running game, as that was highlighted with Liam Cohen there. Chase Brown had 16 carries for 47 yards. That's under 3 yards a pop. You controlled their running game today. Trevor Lawrence threw for over 270 with 3 touchdowns. There were plays being made, but there were just too many mistakes.
Let's try Bucky Brooks again in Cincinnati. You with us now, Buck?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, we've got you clearly now. And, some positive things we just heard from the head coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it mattered, big plays down the stretch were not made by this team today.
Yeah, but it goes beyond that. Like, before we even get down to the big plays down the stretch, this is a game where, as you're learning how to be a championship-type team, you knock these teams out. Like, being on the field level, the Jaguars controlled the game from the jump.
What's up, everybody?
Travis, it seemed like, obviously on that pass interference call, you didn't feel like it was necessarily. Just what did you see on that play? How did it break down to you?
I just can't make it. I can't leave it up to the refs. I just got to do my job, put myself in a better position.
How did you feel like you reacted? Jarring goes down, you have to come in right away. How did that process work for you?
I was good. I was prepared for the moment, prepared to do my job, but I just got to make a couple more plays.
Did they give you an idea going into the game of kind of a snap count of kind of what your workload would be?
Yeah, they told me I'm going to play a lot more defense, so I was just prepared and ready.
What was it like matching up with Chase and Higgins?
Oh, it was great. It was great for me early in my career to, go against those two guys. They established themselves in this league, so it was great for me.
I know you're used to this, but how do you feel coming out of it with the extended snap count today?
Well, I feel great. I feel like I could go back out there and play some more, so.
What did you learn from Chase and Higgins in a game like this, or is that not something you really can digest now? You got to wait for see film and stuff.
Well, they just did their job. They did what their team needed them to do, so that's what I see from them. They did what they had to do to come out with a dub.
How hard is this one to take, just team-wise, where you had so many plays? You had 3 turnovers, 3 touchdowns on the offensive side from Trevor, and still can't grab the W.
We just got to, like I said, we got to go and break down this game and make sure it don't happen no more and just do our job. Individually, I got to do my job still.
What was going on where you guys had the 5 illegal shifts in 9 plays? And then how did you fix it?
We just, we wasn't lining up right. We wasn't fully locked in, which I say. I had a couple mistakes too, so I got to do better with that. I think I had 2 of those. Or 3 of those, one of the 2, but I still got to do my job, and the other guys just got to do their job.
Brian Thomas had the 4th down drop. Do you say anything to him after the game or after the play, just to kind of pick him up or anything like that, or you guys?
I just tell him to keep his head up. That's it. I'm always have his back, no matter if he's right, wrong, or do something that we know is not in his character. So I'm just going to stand behind him and continue to push him to be great.
Did he seem really, or was he really bothered by it?
I don't know. I had to go on defense. I helped them up, and it was time for me to get on defense.
Travis, you have to be patient here in the early going here. You guys are spreading the ball all over the place, not coming your way all the time. And then also, obviously, defense. Is that a balance for you to go make a play and make an impact, but also you got to let it come your way?
Yeah, it's just I got to do what they ask me to do. I got to play within the system and just do my job, make sure I'm on my P's and Q's at all times.
Looks like you guys were able to do whatever you wanted early on offensively. What was that like? And then obviously the turnovers came and affected things a little bit, but looked pretty smooth outside of that early on.
Yeah, we was real smooth coming out of the game. We came out fast, but we just got to finish just like we came out.
People say the NFL is different than college, but you're fully prepared to be a two-way player. This is what you want to do.
Yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. There's a lot of people that's going to continue to doubt me, but I just got to go out there and do my job. Let them say what they want to say.
You talked highly about Brian. Just from what you've been able to see from him and your guys' interactions, what gives you the confidence that he can bounce back from something like this?
It's just how he go about his work. He's that man, and I see it every day in practice. I seen it through the training camp, and I seen it in games. So I just know that he's gonna bounce back and do his job.
Good. Thanks, I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
127 Bengals over the Jaguars in week number 2. Jaguars never trailed until the 18-second mark in the fourth quarter when Browning's 1-yard touchdown gave the Bengals the lead for the first time and for good. And the Bengals started that drive inside their own 10-yard line at their own 8 and had the help of a lengthy pass interference call against Travis Hunter and kept the drive going. That was on they had a fourth down conversion. They got down the field and scored when it mattered. Browning overcame 3 interceptions in relief of Joe Burrow today, threw 2 touchdowns, and ran for the game winner in relief for the Cincinnati Bengals, who are now 2-0. We're standing by. We'll, whenever Trevor Lawrence visits with the media assembled in Cincinnati, we'll try to listen into that coming up. Time now for the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. And the Jaguars had some takeaways today. 3 interceptions. I mean, nearly had some other balls were on the ground today. Remember, Trayvon Walker got his hand on a Joe Burrow ball, but it went backwards. They called it incomplete.
That's actually
somehow.
Armstead who knocked that out, right? It was in Burrow's hand. I don't know how that's an incomplete pass. He literally hit the ball while it was in his hand. And I guess they say because the arm, in their opinion, was moving forward, that they just ruled an incomplete pass. But, yeah, I mean, that would have been a touchdown, right? Was it Trayvon? Maybe it was Trayvon who knocked that one out.
I think it was Trayvon on that one.
That's right. There was another one, I think, that Trayvon had a chance to recover.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think you are right about that. Trayvon got his hand on that. And it could have been a sack forced fumble, and I think it was Mason Smith who would have recovered that in the end zone. So, I mean, it felt like the floodgates were getting ready to open at any moment for the Jags, and they just couldn't hit the critical play or two to give them that 2-touchdown lead or larger.
We will give it today, though, to Andrew Wingard with the interception.
Dewey did it again.
Fantastic play, going back on the ball, playing behind, coming off his guy, and then going back and undercutting the throw and making the play. So Andrew Wingard's interception.
Trevor, how would you evaluate just the offensive performance today?
Just get that off there. All right, we're good. I think overall we showed we can, make plays, and just the consistency piece is still lacking at times. I think just playing a full 60 minutes with focus and attention to detail and not shooting ourselves in the foot, that's still showing up. So that's stuff that we have to correct and learn from. I think just continuing to make plays down the stretch, that's what really good teams do. And I think there was times we did that today and big moments, and there's times we didn't. So we'll watch it and learn from it and get better from it.
Do you know why? Are you concerned that stuff like that lingers longer and longer?
You mean the penalty stuff, or?
You had 5 illegal shifts, I think, in a 9-play span. Those kind of things.
It's just, concerned. No, it's just, but we have to correct it. It's just being smart and being on the same page, and stuff that we can control, which is, frustrating, but also things that we can fix because we can control it.
How would you evaluate your connection with Brian in particular today?
I thought we made some plays on the field where, we had some big chunks. I think there's definitely stuff that we left out there again this week. So it's a long season, and that's obviously important to our success as an offense is me and him being dialed in and being on the same page. And we're getting there, and we just got to keep working. It's like I said, it's not all said and done after one game. So we got to continue to build, and I thought there were some improvements we made this week, and got to continue to get better.
Felt like early on, concerted effort to get him the ball. I don't think he had to catch that again until the fourth quarter. Maybe that was more of a concerted effort, too, to get him downfield. How would you describe just what you set out to do in terms of getting him involved versus what actually happened?
I mean, he's a great player, so it's always going to be part of our plan to get him the ball. So I think you saw that early, and then as the game goes, we have a lot of guys that are dynamic that can do things with the ball, so we feel like we can move people around, and the way games goes, the ball just kind of finds who's open. And on third downs, and we have a lot of moving parts and guys moving around the field, and I thought we had a good plan to get guys open. And just for whatever reason, I guess I didn't notice that as that kind of lull in the middle of the game for him getting the ball. But my job is to find the guy that's open and try to get him the ball and move on. And obviously there's a big plan for us for that to be BT, because he's a great player and can win his one-on-ones.
Talk about stopping to make the mistakes that hurt you guys and beat you and all that stuff. Is that the culture that Liam is trying to figure out and that get established here?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, but I also think the guys played hard. We got each other's back. Like, that's a big piece to this, is to not point fingers when you get some adversity. And we had some today. Had some turnovers. They went down and scored a couple times. Some back and forth. And I thought we did some good things as far as complimentary defense, bailing us out a few times, and then also us taking advantage of a turnover, going and scoring off of it. But just need more of that. So I think for us, it's just learning how to close out these games and to make the plays down the stretch. I think guys played hard and believed, and we just didn't get it done today. So, we got to learn from it and watch the tape and get better.
Brian's proved he's a good player, but it looks like maybe a little confidence right now with things not going his way. That's just my view. But have you had to bring guys along or do extra things in practice over the years anyway, when you feel like some of that isn't clicking where you want it to be?
Yeah, I mean, I never want to speak for a guy and his confidence on where he's at. I think me and BT have a good relationship, and we do communicate, and that's just something where I got to be better for him, and vice versa. Like, we got to help each other out. There's a couple plays today where I can give him a chance down the field where I didn't. I know there's obviously a couple plays that he can make too, and he'd tell you the same thing. So we're all in it together. It's a team sport. That's the beautiful thing about it is no one's out there by themselves. So if that is something, and he is putting pressure on himself, I'm not saying he is, he's not out there alone. He's got 10 other guys that got his back, and we're all in that together. So that's football. It's not always going to go your way.
He's clearly disappointed on the 4th down drop. Do you say anything to him in a situation like that?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we're all frustrated in different times when we want to make that play, but just not much to say there. I mean, I think he understands the situation, and it is what it is. I went up to him and just said, hey, we got it next time. Let's go finish the game, go close it out. At that point, hoping to get another opportunity to go finish the game. But, yeah, it is what it is. There's not much to say. Guys know. It's the same thing. Like, if I have a bad throw, like, I know I got to make the throw. Same thing on the catch. So, we all got to just own our part and move on and improve.
To see the microscope's going to be on the play you guys didn't make, but you run up and down the field.
Yeah.
How much did you do well in week 2 and where this is heading?
Yeah, we did a lot well. I thought we had a good plan. For the most part, the stuff that we tried to accomplish, we did. Like we said, just the self-inflicted wounds, penalties, missed throws, drops, different things, getting off schedule. That stuff kind of showed up again. So that's the thing. Those are things we need to improve. But I thought our plan and our big plays down the field, running back room, all those guys made some big plays for us. Guys down the field winning the matchups, and I thought we had a good plan.
6 targets for Travis, but how do you evaluate him today? How do you see his role kind of developing as we go forward, particularly as a two-way player?
Yeah, it's always a work in progress as far as just our offense and figuring out what clicks, what we're really good at. Each week's going to be different, our plan, and obviously today he had to play more defense. Played a lot there down at the end of the game, so. It's a good. I mean, we got players that can play. Obviously, Parker stepped in and did a nice job when his number was called. So every week will be a little bit different. I thought he's done a nice job of doing what's asked of him, and I think there's more out there that we can find. And he's a great player, and we got to continue to keep him involved just because he's really good with the ball in his hands.
Rachel Tootin gets more action today. Just what did you see from him, and how can he improve this offense? Man,
he played really well. Obviously, did some stuff in the passing game. Had that big catch for a touchdown, and then. Running the ball, just getting downhill. He had some great runs that were maybe didn't look great at first, but he pushed an extra 2, 3, 4 yards and ended up being 7-yard gains that looked like they should be probably 3-yard gains. So he did a really good job. I think our guys up front played really hard, cleared some lanes for him, and the guys ran hard.
How would you describe your relationship in game with Liam, maybe comparatively to other coaching dynamics that you've had?
It's really good. The communication is really high. I think, Coach is really passionate, which is something that I've noticed ever since he's been here, and I love that about him, and we'll get fired up, So it's been cool seeing our, and there's times where I'm not always that way. I'm kind of a little more like this, but he's honestly brought a little bit of more of that out of me, which I think has been good for our offense, and I kind of feed off of him, and there's times we get excited and get fired up, and there's a sense of urgency, though, too, when things aren't going great, where I feel like he does hold us accountable and not afraid to rip into us a little bit, so I think that's good. There's a sense of urgency for us, and we need to get better, and we can improve.
On the second interception, did you think it might have been a free play? There's a flag. I think it ended up being a legal shit. But
No, didn't think that was a free play. We were just a little off there. Me and BT, as far as some of our timing stuff, I got to clean that up. wasn't the best ball there, and seemed like every ball was getting tipped up in the air today. So got to find a way to, limit those.
You played catch-up mode in so much of your career. What's it like now in consecutive weeks to be able to come out and, get points in the first quarter, including your first drive?
It's great. I mean, it's to be able to start the game that way, for our defense, us offensively to settle in early, to feel like we get some good plays, stay on track, go get points, gives us some confidence as an offense, and then for our defense too, to be able to settle in with a lead. I think that's also important. So it's been awesome. We got to continue to build off that, and like I said, learn from the stuff today. That's all great, but still got to go win the game. So, but the way we've started the last 2 weeks has been much better for sure.
Okay, great.
Good. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Trevor, appreciate it.
I mean, you got a backup coming in. Hey, you're going to pick that guy off 3 times. You think you got a pretty good shot? I would think. But we know how it ended. 2 touchdown passes as well. Joe Burrow prior to that was 7 of 13 for only 76 yards. He did have the touchdown pass. Trevor Lawrence on the day, 24 of 42, 271 officially, 3 TDs, also with the 2 interceptions, quarterback rating of 80.6. Travis Etienne led all rushers on the ground, 14 for 71. T. had 8 for 42. Chase Brown managed 16 for 47 on his side. Jamar Chase was basically unstoppable. 14 catches on 16 targets, 165 yards, and a touchdown. T. Higgins caught one as well, as did Mitchell Tinsley for the Jaguars. Parker Washington's 5 for 76 set the pace. Touchdown receptions for De'Ami Brown. T. got his first career touchdown. Travis Etienne had one as well. Defensively for the Jags, sacks by Foye Oluokun, Trayvon Walker, and Eric Armstead. Interceptions for the Jags by Andrew Wingard, Devin Lloyd, and Eric Murray all today.
There you have it, an Everbank stats check. Let's go ahead and do our Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting as well while we're here. I get a vote. Mike gets a vote. Brian, you get to play the role of Fred Taylor. You get a vote and a half today to bring any deadline.
That's a little too much pressure.
I'm going to start with Travis Etienne Jr. as my vote today. 14 carries, 71 yards. He also had a receiving touchdown in the game with a nice play out wide where he had the reverse motion to go back, made the catch, and was weaving through defenders and into the end zone. So Etienne, after a strong statistical game last week, follows it up with a steady effort today, and he is my vote. Mike?
All right, I'm going to make it all in the lap of Brian Sexton. I'm going to go Trayvon Walker in this game. Trayvon ended up with 5 tackles in the game. He had a sack. He had the pass defense, which could have resulted in a touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 3 quarterback hits on the day. So hits are better than pressures, sacks better than hits. But I thought Trayvon played well today and had a good matchup because they had some backup linemen in there. But I thought he took advantage.
I'll go with you because I thought Trayvon Walker destroyed that side of the line. He had Amarius Mims the entire day and had him on his heels. It's hard to pick one side of the ball or other, right? Because both of them had breakdowns along the way. I'm going to go with Trayvon Walker because every time I saw 44, I saw bodies flying. I thought he played a whale of a ball game.
Trayvon Walker today, 5 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits, and a pass defense today for the Jaguars. He is the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game. We're back in a moment with the injury report. Jags fall today in Cincinnati, 31-27 the final, and it's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
At G.E.H.A, they stand behind their members because they were founded by members. They're not focused on Wall Street, they're focused on Main Street. So they built dental plans with 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, with access to a nationwide network of nearly 600,000 provider locations. G.E.H.A is proud to offer dental plans exclusively for federal employees, federal retirees, and military retirees. Visit GEHA.com to learn more.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. You might know that Echo East Coast Transportation is the official transportation provider of the Jaguars. I've been a client of theirs for more than 30 years because they're from here and they're Jaguar fans too. So if you're looking for pre-arranged transportation, from the simple to the complex, call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions box for your 15% Jaguars discount. And if you want to talk Jaguars, they can do that too.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
If you look closely at a Ford SUV, you won't just see eye-catching design. You'll feel adventure and the new sense of freedom in a Ford Bronco, or an elevated level of confidence from the advanced technology found in a Ford Explorer. And with standard 4x4 in the Bronco Sport, you'll find the strength to overcome almost any obstacle. It's time to see Ford SUVs in a new light. Stop by your local Ford dealer today to find a great deal on a new Ford SUV.
NFL fans, when it's time to get Jaguars tickets, you can tackle game day with total certainty with Ticketmaster. With 100% verified tickets available all season long, you can count on getting in with ease and spend time focusing on the good stuff. Even if you're headed to the game last minute, you can still score seats. Want to meet up inside the stadium with your crew? Transferring your tickets is an easy handoff. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Jaguars postgame presented by G.E.H.A. continues. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton at the Hyundai Studios in Jacksonville after Jags lost in Cincinnati, 31-27 the final. Time for the injury report presented by UF Health, the proud healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jarian Jones, cornerback, late in the first quarter had a back issue, but then returned in the second quarter of play. Looked like Travis Hunter had something briefly on the sideline from the television copy and then came back into the game, obviously was there at the very end. Nothing else major, I think, popped up today that we could tell, right, in the injury report.
We didn't lose our quarterback.
That's now the other side. It's a long list today, of course, with the tackle who was out a lot of the game. Shamar Stewart, fourth quarter, had to be helped off. Joe Burrow, of course, limping off with apparently a left toe issue. So they've got some – they've got a busy training over the next week or two.
And that's the part that's the part that's going to keep just chewing on all night, and that is that Joe Burrow didn't play for what, essentially 2.5 quarters?
Yep.
And you missed the opportunity to beat the Bengals and go 2-0 for the first time since 2018. And it was there for you. You can make a lot of different cases about, here's positive and things to grow on and first road, all of that stuff. But when you get a backup quarterback, even one who beat you here 2 years ago with a pretty strong performance, you still feel like you should win that ball game.
You got a backup quarterback who came in and threw 3 picks.
Yeah.
I mean,
win that ball game.
It's almost unbelievable that the Jags would have a 7-point advantage at the half. The backup quarterback on his way to throwing 3 interceptions over the course of the second half, and you lose that game.
Yeah. Jake Browning going in the Ring of Honor with 2 Jaguar games. I mean, how's that work? Jeez. Back in a moment. We'll review next week. The Houston Texans are coming to town. We'll get into the AFC South battle when we return after a 31-27 final. Bengals over the Jaguars. It's Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank. Advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect.
When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it.
You make power plays.
Aim for fences. And go for end zones.
You believe that your moment is now. At Farah and Farah, we deliver game day energy 24/7.
If you've been injured, put our force to work for you. Jacksonville.
Today's highlight is brought to you by Toyota. At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota. Let's go places. Lease a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5 for $279 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through September 30th, 2025. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. $4278 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
To aim higher, run faster is what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA. To not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
Jaguars postgame brought to you by G.E.H.A, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees. The final score in Cincinnati, Bengals 31, Jaguars 27. Welcome back, J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios. And now, with a 1-1 record, the Jaguars are back home next week against the Houston Texans. And we'll see what the defending AFC South champions have in store. They have a game on Monday night, so they'll have a short week coming on the road this week. Thank goodness.
They're the early of the two Monday night games tomorrow night, right? Tampa?
They do. They kick off at 7, then the L.A.-Vegas game at 10. But, look, it's not – when you talk about overcoming adversity, it's not just during the game. This game is adversity. This is a game that you're going to be kicking yourself for. I hope you're going to be kicking yourself on the entire plane ride home and watching that film session tomorrow. There's going to be some guys getting chewed out, I would imagine, for some of the mistakes they made. But you've got to put that behind you because the opportunity is still there. If you beat Houston next week, we don't know what the Colts are going to do today, but the Titans lost. I mean, you're right there in the mix. It's not like the season's over or anything like that. And I guess you can take away the fact that you felt like you were as good, if not better, than the other team. You just didn't put up more points this week.
What's it going to take to get number 7 back on track? Right?
I don't know.
I mean, sticking the hand out for the ball and tipping it became the interception, which became points, and then, just flat dropping the ball.
It felt like there was another one.
He ducked another one
in
at
the
some
end zone.
point.
He kind of went under a little, like he was expecting a big hit, and he kind of went under it a little bit.
I didn't buy all of the frustration talk. At least I didn't buy it all in training camp because I thought, well, listen, when it comes time to play, that's what this kid does.
Yeah, usually when the lights are on, he's good.
And he had the one touchdown last week, but it just seems like he is in a deep hole, and they're going to have to find a way to get him out and get him started again.
Right. I mean, they went to him right at the outset of the game.
Yeah.
They did it last
It felt like
week,
that was
too.
what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Right. And it just after that, it felt like it was a while before he kind of got rolling there. And, some of this is on Brian Thomas. Some of it's on the chemistry, if you will, between quarterback and receiver. But they got to get him going because this guy's supposed to be the best player on the field for the Jaguars.
I thought he was the best player on the roster when training camp started.
I agree. 100% would have voted that way.
Is not today.
We'll see moving ahead what they can do. And, of course, the Houston Texans are here. It's 1 o'clock kickoff time. We'll be on the air at noon with Countdown to Kickoff on the Jaguars Radio Network next week. Tickets available, jaguars.com/tickets or 904-633-2000. For those on our flagship station, 1010XL in Jacksonville, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is next. We'll have more conversation about this Jaguars loss today. Thanks to our entire crew, of course, Fred Taylor, for Bucky Brooks, and our entire crew both here in Jacksonville and in Cincinnati. This is J.P. Shadrick saying goodnight. Final score for the final time, Bengals 31, Jaguars 27. And this has been Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome to the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks will take your calls about today's game and take a look at the rest of the league. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Farrah and Farrah, Whataburger, the University of Florida, and by Everbank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome to the Scoreboard Show. No calls this week. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios after a loss in Cincinnati, 31-27, the final score. What a day. So many ways. So much action in this game. Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence with a couple touchdown passes. He throws a couple interceptions. The Jags defense gets their hand on the football again. Joe Burrow left the game with a toe injury and didn't return. But Jake Browning did, and he hurt the Jaguars again. He threw 3 interceptions, but he scored 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air, and the game-winning score with 18 seconds to play to put the Bengals over the top to move them to 2-0. The Jaguars 1-1, and we're left scratching our heads, Brian.
6 red zone possessions, 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal, 1 interception, and then 1 turnover on downs. Mm-hmm. When you leave the red zone without points, statistically, you lose. When you have 1 red zone trip, because the average team gets 11 possessions a game, okay? Or I should say the average is 11 possessions a game per team. Mm-hmm. You're giving 1 away right there. And, of course, they gave 1 away later with the interception. So you left at least 6 and maybe 14 points on the field today.
Yeah,
with those
no
2
doubt.
red zone possessions.
We talked about it right from the outset, that interception in the end zone, all you got to do is throw it to the back pylon. I mean, Travis Hunter had 2 yards of separation on his guy. Now, I know a lot's happening in that, but what you can't do is underthrow it. That's the only thing you can't do there.
I haven't looked at the tape close enough. Did 91 make contact with him as he was throwing it, or did he get rid of it quickly because 91 was
There was
coming?
pressure that I thought forced a quick throw, but
Still throw
it away, throw it out of bounds. You know, that gives you 3 points.
Yeah.
But, you know, and Diami,
It's not one of his skills, throwing it away.
I agree, you know, and I get it. The guy wants to make plays, and he's capable of making plays, but
don't be a hero.
That was a bad. That was a play that cost the Jags, and the De'Ami Brown drop was the other one. I mean, those are with all those mistakes. If De'Ami Brown catches that touchdown, I think we're walking out of Cincinnati a winner in a how did we hang on and survive that kind of fashion. But you know, after assuming everything else goes the way it did, Devin Lloyd's interception would have set up a field goal that made it a 2-score game.
I was working on tomorrow's Jags AM, right? Mm-hmm. Big things right at the top, and I thought when Devin Lloyd intercepted that ball, I started working in victory, right? Yes. So I put 2-0. Liam Cohen would have been the first Jaguars coach ever to win his first 2 games. And the Jaguars would be 2-0 for the first time since 2018 and only the 3rd time in the last 20 years. I mean, there was so much that was sitting there waiting. And now we're going to have to talk about drop passes, bad throws, interceptions. People are going to want to talk about Liam Cohen's decision to go for it on 4th down. I had no problem with it. I know you guys have talked about that ad nauseum. Instead, we're focused on those things, and that's the part that you have remorse for today.
Struggle. 31-27, the final score. Plenty more ahead. We will break down every part of this football game today when we return. We're off and running. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio. Is your organization ready to tackle its toughest challenges? For 3 decades, CSI Companies based in Jacksonville has been the trusted workforce partner for leading healthcare and technology providers nationwide. Whether finding the right talent for a specific job, advising on a strategic project, or offering seamless managed services, they tailor every solution to fit your needs. CSI brings trusted expertise and a people-first approach to your organization. Get the job done right. Together, we go further. Learn more at csicompanies.com.
Hey, Jaguar fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Join the thousands of Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Stadium on game day. That's JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jags. Passes start at $10 on the MyJTA mobile app. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. Game Day Express is one way the JTA is working to create a better connected Northeast Florida. Visit JTAFLA.com for more details.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games. When you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport, catch epic showdowns in Cincinnati and Denver. Turn up the heat in Phoenix and Las Vegas. Support your Jaguars in divisional clashes in Houston, Nashville, and Indianapolis. View real-time parking, security, and flight updates on flyjacks.com. Whether you stick with the play call or you need an audible, they'll be your teammate every step of the way. Book your nonstop flights today. Learn more at flyjacks.com.
Floridians, do you know how close you are to freshness? It's not a plane or a ship ride away. It's not across an ocean or over the equator. It's not even a far drive. The peak of freshness is at your grocery store, and it's called Fresh from Florida. Fresh from Florida is local produce grown by farmers right here in our own state, meaning it's always fresh, always in season, and always mouth-wateringly good. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo or ask for it by name where you shop.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Son Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle & Sons. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. CoyleJacks.com. Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Scoreboard Show continues after a Jags loss in Cincinnati, 31-27, the final score. Time now for the call of the game presented by Coyle Fence, and we'll go with the early touchdown for the Jaguars in the opening drive.
Hunter. Motion by Travis Hunter. Play fake. Looking is Trevor. Looking. Fires to the back of the end zone. That ball's going to be caught. Touchdown. De'Ami Brown in the back of the end zone. A 9-yard touchdown pass, and Jacksonville strikes first in Cincinnati.
Good way to get it started for the Jaguars. Lawrence to De'Ami Brown, and it's 7-0 lead at that point. And the call of the game presented by Coyle Fence. Since 1927, they've been around the block and fenced it too. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the studios, Hyundai Studios in Jacksonville after a tough loss today. How about the Jaguars' defense today? And, yeah, the whole plan was Burrow and Chase. Chase got his.
Oh, yeah.
And Burrow leaves, and Browning gave him a few, 3 interceptions. But then there were moments where they just couldn't get off the field. That last drive, they were helped by the pass interference, of course, to get down there. All in all, how are you feeling about this defensive day overall right now?
Well, I felt real good, Mike, about 3 interceptions. And especially I felt really good about Devin Lloyd's, right? For him in coverage to reach up and take it and put the Jaguars in a position that you feel good about that. I felt like Trayvon Walker and Josh pushed the pocket a lot. Trayvon got a sack. Jags had 3 sacks. But then you give up the 4th down, and was it 4 or 5 from the 29-yard line? You know, something like that, where he got up the field.
Mm-hmm.
And there
Stop
was
that play, game's over.
There was no one there.
Yeah.
Right? And they gave all the credit. I mean, Browning made a great play, but they gave all the credit to the coach, to Zach Taylor at the moment, for calling the right play against the right defense. Mm-hmm. Well, how come the Jaguars didn't have the right defense for the right play? You kind of know what they like to do, right? That's a tendency of what they like to do. Chase Brown out of the backfield. Somebody made a mistake.
I feel like the one that was the killer is the T. Higgins 42-yard touchdown, though. Like, without that play, he really did nothing on the day. And, Chase is getting his, and you kind of almost feel like, okay, we'll take that. Yeah. And we said it at halftime. Brian, he can double his numbers from the first half if nobody else gets going. They held down Chase Brown. They didn't hold down T. Higgins enough, and then Browning with the rushing touchdown at the end. But, it was kind of bend but don't break. That was obviously what they were planning with Jamar Chase. But I still feel like sometimes you got to get up there and challenge that guy. Rather than laying off 5 yards and giving him that easy feel like I'm going to get the ball in my hands, because he's so good run after the catch. It's not just the receiving ability and the route running. It's the run after the catch as well. I felt like you let him get started a little too easily.
You talking about Chase there?
Yes.
Yeah, and on that screen where he got down the sideline.
Yes.
And there were 3 Jaguars defenders and 2 more coming. How in the world did he get back to the inside and find a seam? Because once he had that first step back to the inside, he was going down the sidelines. The angles on that, and Anthony Campanile can talk about this at a much greater extent than I can, but it looked to me like the angles that they took gave him just enough to go, and he's unbelievable. That play was phenomenal.
Tough day for the Jags secondary in certain parts, too. Tyson Campbell, was that the T. Higgins touchdown was against Tyson?
Well, yeah, it was against Tyson. I don't know what the call was on that one, but he's so big and so fast. And if you play off of him too much, he'll go right by you. And that's exactly what he did. And then Dewey came over to try to break the play up, and he hit him in the body, and he just bounced off. Just bounced off of him.
Did you get a good angle on the Hunter pass interference?
Yes.
And?
I didn't think it was. Of course, now, whoever's sitting in my chair right now in Cincinnati is saying, of course,
obviously.
His head wasn't turned at a 90-degree angle, perpendicular. But it looked to me like he was playing the same type of coverage that all the cornerbacks were playing in those situations today. And he made a great move to get out and knock the ball away. Mm-hmm. But that's just my perspective, and I might be biased on that one.
It's what it is at this point, and it is a loss. 31-27, the final score. Back with more. We'll get back into the offensive day today for the Jags in Cincinnati. And the Jaguars Scoreboard Show is presented by Everbank. Advantage you. Make the most out of your money at everbank.com/Jaguars. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville is game time, and just like the Jaguars fight for every yard on the field, Duck Duck Rooter fights for every customer at home. From plumbing repairs to septic pump outs to keeping your AC cool all season long, we've got the winning playbook. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and delivers championship service every time. When plumbing, septic, or AC problems put you on defense, don't fumble the call. Dial 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
My husband, Steve, was diagnosed with prostate cancer. They only gave him months to live. That was years ago. Now, he's out there, under the tree. Nature photography is his thing. And apparently, so is catching poison ivy.
Oof, so itchy. UF Health, human progress has no finish line.
Is your organization ready to tackle its toughest challenges? For 3 decades, CSI Companies based in Jacksonville has been the trusted workforce partner for leading healthcare and technology providers nationwide. Whether finding the right talent for a specific job, advising on a strategic project, or offering seamless managed services, they tailor every solution to fit your needs. CSI brings trusted expertise and a people-first approach to your organization. Get the job done right. Together, we go further. Learn more at CSICompanies.com.
Hey fans, it's Tyson Campbell, cornerback for your Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, make your game day even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium. And you can enjoy even more with the pizza pick-off promo after the game. When the Jaguars get 2 interceptions in one game, you'll score 50% off one pizza any size you want for 48 hours after the game. Just tell them you want the Jags Pick promo when you order. Up your game and your pizza with Al's at the stadium or any of their locations.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios after a Jaguars loss in Cincinnati, 31-27, the final score. Jags now 1-1 on the season. And we continue our conversation about this Jags loss today. Let's get back on the offensive side of things. And Trevor Lawrence's day, statistically, here are the numbers, final numbers for him today. 24 of 42 passing, 271 through the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 80.6 rating. He was sacked 1 time in the game. Mixed bag today. There was a lot of drops, some balls that were on target. There was the notable we saw on screen where Liam Cohen was yelling from the sidelines at him, and Trevor waves him off, and it's late in the game, I think, when that happened. So there's a lot to decipher here and go through in the quarterback's day here at the office.
I didn't think he played that bad. I mean, if you give him the interception and say that the first one, that he should have thrown it further, because I don't know whether he was hit as he was throwing or if he just hurried up and threw it short. The second interception was Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, you got to put both hands on that ball. So, completed just under 60% of his passes. I like the fact that Joe Burrow goes down the field and gets the touchdown to tie it at 7. Trevor comes right back, goes right down the field, and gives the Jaguars a 14-7 advantage. Third quarter, T. Higgins touchdown. They go right back down the field, and they get the touchdown. I liked the answers there. The coach, I'm sure, can find 6 or 8 passes that he would like to see him throw a little bit differently, but he put the ball right on the money on 4th down in the final drive where they turned it over on downs. He put it right there. The play was called, and he delivered his part. And yet, it shows up in his stats and not Brian Thomas Jr.'s. So I didn't think he played poorly at all. I thought he played pretty well. Did he play well enough to win? No.
No, I think it was the De'Ami Brown incompletion that had Liam Cohen the most upset. And even on that 4th down play, JP and I were talking about, first of all, you run it on 3rd down. I don't know if you're going to go for it both time, definitively on 4th down, I think you got to throw it twice in that circumstance, unless you pop it for like 10 and make it a little bit shorter. But they did what they did. But even on that play to Brian Thomas, he did hit him. But Brian Thomas, he would have to catch that turn where he was. If he was unable to lunge, would have been short of the 1st down. So it would have been a little bit closer, but, 6 more yards for the Jags, and it would have been that close.
I would have liked to have seen him hold the ball and find out how it happens, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
No question about it. He might have been able to make that play. And sometimes you do throw it short of the sticks, and you got to have your guy make a play for you.
Right, and then I'll give you another Trevor where he didn't play very well. Was had the ball 3rd and 2. Now, they ran it. Remember, that was the drive where in the 4th quarter, Logan Cook punted. He pooch punted there. So they had the ball near midfield, and they run it on 1st down with Etienne and get 4, and on 2nd down with Tootin and get 4, and it's 3rd and 2 near midfield. Run it twice. I mean, you're a running football team, right? I get it. Low-hanging fruit. But he throws the ball instead into double coverage for Brian Thomas Jr. over on the Bengals sideline, remember? And the ball was just outside of his reach. Well, that was probably a poor decision on his part, right? That was probably one of those passes that you would like to have back. People are going to blame him And I'm not sure that he's worthy of all the blame.
Would you not like to have that play call back, though,
listen,
right?
I would have run it.
Right,
That
just
would have
turn
been
around,
mine.
hand it off. We want to be this running team. This is
Right.
going to be our identity. We
Right.
went up for 200 last week, and we came out throwing it all over the lot, and it looked like the right thing to do. But I agree with you. In that circumstance,
You run it.
Run it 2 times. And look, if you get stuffed on 3rd down and now it's 4th and 3, then you punt it away. That's fine. But, yeah, I think we were both surprised when that happened.
Based on the way they played last week, it was power. It was physical. That was the way they were going to be. I wanted to see that, thinking let's chew up some clock. Let's have a long, sustained drive here because they had 400 yards of offense. They moved they got to the red zone 6 times today. Yeah. It's hard to blame the quarterback when they're moving the ball up and down the field. He played well enough to put this team in a position to win. They had those 2 red zone opportunities that got away from him. Points left on the field. That's the part where you're just scratching your head. I didn't name him my player of the game because he didn't play that well, but he didn't play that poorly either.
Back in a moment. Plenty more ahead after this Jaguars loss in Cincinnati. 31-27 the final score, and this is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Son Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle & Sons. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. CoyleJacks.com.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Catch epic showdowns in Cincinnati and Denver. Turn up the heat in Phoenix and Las Vegas. Support your Jaguars in divisional clashes in Houston, Nashville, and Indianapolis. View real-time parking, security, and flight updates on flyjacks.com. Whether you stick with the play call or you need an audible, they'll be your teammate every step of the way. Book your nonstop flights today. Learn more at flyjacks.com.
It's here that a tiny newborn has the heart surgery needed to save her life. It's here that a first grader learns to speak clearly and confidently. It's here that a 12-year-old athlete builds the strength to run full speed again. It's here at Wolfson Children's Hospital that answers are found, courage is shown, and odds are beaten every day. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
Hey, Jaguar fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Join the thousands of Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Stadium on game day. That's JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jax. Passes start at $10 on the MyJTA mobile app. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. Game Day Express is one way the JTA is working to create a better connected Northeast Florida. Visit JTAFLA.com for more details.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back. Scoreboard Show continues. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios. Final score 31-27. Bengals over the Jaguars. Bengals 2-0. Jaguars 1-1. Jags will host the Houston Texans next week, but we're breaking down this game today. And the Jaguars defense again today with some takeaways off Browning. They had 3 interceptions off the backup quarterback for the Bengals. And it's players, guys that, these are positions, at least at safety, that, okay, they had to revamp this whole thing. They brought in Eric Murray. Andrew Wingard's back in the starting lineup regularly for the first time since 2021. Devin Lloyd has had his share of criticism around here. He makes a play today in the passing game of all things, which has really been his Achilles heel in his career. That's a good sign for this group when you've got players that are contributing in those key spots in the middle.
Well, the middle of the defense last year, correct me if I'm wrong, it was just the target-rich environment for quarterbacks in the fourth quarter. I mean, they were targeting Andre Sisco, who's no longer here. Mm-hmm. And obviously, Dewey wasn't in the lineup last year. You had a lot of Antonio Johnson. And in that defensive scheme, I'm not sure anybody would have had great success. So I don't want to dogpile on those guys. But to see Murray now made plays in back-to-back weeks. I mean, he set up Foyer's interception last week and comes up with his own today. Dewey had one last week that was taken away by a questionable call on Eric Murray and came up with one today. And it was a beautiful play. I mean, much more difficult than the one that he had last week. And then he turns back up the field and sets up a scoring opportunity for them. So to have the two safeties, and I think we said it, I mean, Devin Lloyd is a punching bag for a lot of people. He just has not made a ton of plays. Lots of tackles, but not a lot of plays. And yet, that was a great interception. I mean, leaping and lunging, and he gave his team a chance to slam the door shut. So the middle of this defense, whether it's the zone scheme that they're playing or it's the people who are on the field, the middle of this defense has become a place where you don't feel so insecure when the quarterback is in the shotgun looking down the field.
Yeah, and just collectively, you've got guys making, it feels like, more plays. After only 2 weeks, you have 6 turnovers by the defense. After only 9 all of last year.
Well, the defense only had 8. One of those was on special teams last year.
True. Right. So, but collectively, the team had 9. So you're already 2/3 of the way there. Jordan Lewis had another big game today. Led the team in tackles. 2 of them behind the line of scrimmage, had another pass breakup today. So, I mean, there have been good additions, but, in the end, it's you're pointing out little bright spots in overall down performance. So,
Colin Saunders inactive today. Mason Smith was up for the first time today. Let's see his final line here to see what he did. We'll take a look at that real quick. But
I saw him in a scrum, and he's a big body.
They needed pass rush today. That was the idea against Burrow, the interior pass rush today. But,
Smith was given an assist.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, though. It would have been him picking up that ball in the end zone if they had ruled that a fumble instead of an incomplete pass, right?
So.
Where Trayvon got his hand on it.
Yep. So there you have it. And we mentioned Trayvon Walker's day today, of course. He was our player of the game, the network show, with a sack, 5 tackles, 3 quarterback hits today. Hines Allen had 3 more quarterback hits as well. Still hasn't been able to get the quarterback on the ground for a sack yet, but really close.
He was really close again. And I just want to say, if they want to see how good of a football player Trayvon Walker is, this is a great piece of video to go and watch because Amarius Mims, another Georgia Bulldog, is a massive human being. I mean, he is huge. And Trayvon just had him turned inside and out. He was manning him up and pushing him backwards and running around him. I just thought it was as good an all-around performance as you could ask for from that defensive end.
How wild was that play where he actually got his hand on Burrow and the ball went backwards? I mean, how is that an incomplete pass?
And by the way, it looked like he was throwing his hip and shoulder forward, not his arm. Yeah. But they reviewed it and decided that it met the standard for it. That series was when I went different Jags, right? Different breed of cat from last year to this year. Now, the result, Mike, and you've hit on this a couple of times, the result looks the same, right? Missed opportunity. How many, 9 fourth-quarter losses last year? And here's a fourth-quarter loss with 18 seconds. So it's going to feel that way to a lot of people. I'm not so sure I would go down that road. Let's see how they do, how they rebound next week against the Texans, who have taken this team to the woodshed since 2002, really. They just own the series. But last year, C.J. Stroud got them. So let's see how they respond. Did they come home with a fire lit under them and ready to go? Okay, then I will be able, I think, to stand up and say it is a different breed of cat.
Right, that's the thing, right? I mean, we hope that this is a better team that just made a few mistakes that are correctable today. But I think there were times last year, look at the Minnesota game, right? I mean, they played the Vikings, who had one of the best records in football. So tough. And you're like, why can't that team show up? So who knows? Maybe, they don't make the same mistakes, but maybe they don't dominate a team in the Texans or San Francisco or Kansas City coming up in the next few weeks, where they had that margin to play with today.
Felt a little bit like Philadelphia there because they remember against Philly they had the chance to win the bowl game at the end when they had it.
I didn't feel like they were the better
18?
team. I felt like they outplayed them on that day, but I felt like the Jags were actually the better team today against Cincinnati.
Well, I'm just in my mind going through why people would say it's the same old Jaguars, and it's because they missed the opportunity to put the game away when they had it.
Yep.
Let's come back in a moment. Our final thoughts ahead of Week 3. We'll look ahead to that Houston Texans matchup next week. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games. When you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport, catch epic showdowns in Cincinnati and Denver. Turn up the heat in Phoenix and Las Vegas. Support your Jaguars in divisional clashes in Houston, Nashville, and Indianapolis. View real-time parking, security, and flight updates on flyjacks.com. Whether you stick with the play call or you need an audible, they'll be your teammate every step of the way. Book your nonstop flights today. Learn more at flyjacks.com.
What's Here is a place that generations have trusted to help their kids grow up healthy and strong. What's Here are caregivers with knowledge and expertise rivaling any children's hospital in the world. What's Here is the only Level 1 pediatric trauma center in our region. What's Here is Wolfson Children's Hospital with the technology, research, and dedication to save and change countless young lives. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
Jaguars fans, it's time to show up and show out. Get game day ready with fresh gear from Fanatics. Rock your teal and black with the new Sideline Collection, head-turning headwear, and exclusive drops you won't find anywhere else. Visit any of our 11 convenient locations throughout the stadium and rep your Jags in style. The Jaguars Pro Shop, a Fanatics experience.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Final moments here. Coming up the 5th quarter. Hacker, Leon Searcy, Gerald Ingram will take your calls for the next couple hours. And we get our final thoughts here on this 31-27 final score. It's 1-1. They did move the ball today. They had 400 yards of offense. They had 3 takeaways of a backup quarterback. But big plays, key moments late, went the wrong way.
Mike, I had my toe in the water on Trevor Lawrence played pretty good. I was kind of just – because the story is you can't decide whether he played good or not, right? I mean, you're just back and forth. But, I'm looking at this and thinking, if De'Ami Brown catches the touchdown, he's got 4. And if Brian Thomas is responsible for the second interception, he's 4-1, right? 400 yards of offense, moving the ball up and down the field. I think he played better than people probably see it, but, there's always that perception is reality, and he didn't make enough plays in the red zone to get the win. But I'm encouraged by what I saw from Trevor Lawrence today.
Yeah, I think you can take that away from it, certainly, but people will point to that bad interception, and something's off with the chemistry with Brian Thomas Jr. Now, I don't know who to lay the blame on, but Liam Cohen was certainly not happy with Trevor, at least at one point in the game. That wasn't a throw to Brian Thomas Jr., so are there frustrations bubbling up because there are things out there that are gettable for this offense that they're leaving on the field? I don't know the answer to that.
Nor do I, but I'm encouraged by it, and I'm encouraged by some things that I saw from him. Listen, Liam Cohen was brought in here to fix him, to get this thing up and going. They're 1-1 after 2. They're running the ball well. They're playing better defense than they did at any point last year. So I get it because it's just kind of a sick feeling to know you should have won that ball game. That was a winnable. They should have won the game. Should have won the game. However, you're 1-1 with the Texans coming in here, and go make the most of that one and see if we can say that this is a different team.
Texans play on Monday Night Football tomorrow night. They'll be here Sunday at 1 o'clock for Week 3 in the NFL. Tickets available, jaguars.com/tickets, or call 904-633-2000. Jags AM tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. I will be getting on the phone with Kainani Stevens, and we will be hammering that out. But I'm going to tell you, the idea of what I shared with you when I first came in here, adversity and prosperity, you got to learn to handle the prosperity. They've shown they can handle the adversity. Win it when you've got it. Devin Lloyd gave them a chance to do it, and they missed it.
They just missed it today, and you got Jaguars today, tomorrow.
We do. David Garrard's got the day off, but Tony Smith and I will commiserate with everyone from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
And we'll have Pete Briscoe and Austin Lane at 4 o'clock with the Jaguars Happy Hour, and we'll see what Pete has to say. And Austin. That'll be an interesting conversation with some missed opportunities today. That'll do it. Thanks for our entire crew, both here and in Cincinnati. And thanks to you for listening. The fifth quarter is next. This has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.